Yeah. What's up? Good, popping, cracking, percolating, really good in the hood. It's man Theo Butler. We back. Black Panther, Wakanda. Yeah. We here. We here. I think we're gonna have a great show and everything like that. This participation show. It is. So before we begin, y'all go ahead and hit that like button. Because folks, the whole talking thing and everything. And we're gonna be doing a lot of that. Well, not me, us, and everything like that. We're gonna talk about it though. It's 60 years later, right? 60 years later. 60 years later. Where should he be? Where should he be? Where should Wakanda be? Yeah, this ain't just what you would like to see, but we're gonna do some critical thinking. I was talking to my brother Daryl yesterday before we went live and did our show and everything like that. We're gonna do some critical thinking. We Black Panther fans. Somebody said the quickest way to kill a man's legacy is stop telling this story. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna keep T'Challa's Black Panther, Wakanda legacy stories alive and everything. So with that being said, pull on up. I see we got one. That ain't enough to have fun. It ain't enough. Two, we can make it do what it gonna do. I can't be a part of the two. That's three. That fills my heart with glee. There we go. So we got Wakanda, we got Black Panther. It's 60 years later. 60 years later. Now, mind you, while this is a safe space, you probably want to be a comic book fan, or at the very least, just, comic book. Because he ain't been in the MCU for 60 years. That ain't what that's been. He been in the comic books for 60 years. So 60 years. What does 60 years worth of development look like? Well, I turned 58 this year, so yeah, 2 more years on that and everything like that. And being Black Panther, I'm not gonna say central, but being a Black Panther channel, I say that. What runs have we reviewed? I see 6 people in here. I appreciate y'all pulling up. I was not raised without manners, so I'm gonna do what I was taught to do and everything like that. I'm gonna greet people. You greet people when they pull up into your house and everything like that. You greet them. And like that. I'm gonna greet people. You greet them. Yeah, we got Nantella, Kimoyo King. I'll be in and out. The chat currently working, but hey, handle your business. You gotta pay them bills. The president of the Black Panther fan group, King Kimoyo. I like that. You like that, King Kimoyo or Kimoyo King? Which one? King Kimoyo? King Kimoyo. So, Black Panther, and one of the things that I've been doing on this channel is going over certain runs. We covered the Peter B. Gillis run, right? David List run, Jonathan Mayberry, Reginald Hudlin, yeah. And we still got some more Reginald Hudlin to come because all we did was get Deadliest of the Species. We got some Jonathan Hickman in there. We got some Fantastic Four in there. We got some Avengers versus X-Men in there. And right now we're covering New Avengers and everything like that. Right now we're doing Jack Kirby's 1977 run as well. T'Challa talked a whole lot different back then. So we're Black Panther fan. You a Black Panther fan, I'm a Black Panther fan. That's what that is. You know some stuff about T'Challa. I know some stuff about T'Challa. You know some stuff about Wakanda. I know some stuff about Wakanda. So what I figured we could do here, bring ourselves together and everything like that, especially when you take into consideration Marvel not doing nothing with it. Like we just need to understand that Marvel comic books ain't doing what we want done with our favorite character. And the MCU, well, to hell with the MCU. To hell with the MCU. So with this being T'Challa Central, well, you could come get you some T'Challa. You could not just partake, but actually put in, if you will. Yeah. We all come together because we all T'Challa fans, Black Panther fans. Who else we got here? We got my brother Haram McCall up in the building. I go by High King Kimoyo. I also go by High King Kimoyo. So we're okay. High King, I like that. I'm just gonna say High King. Y'all give it up one time. I'm just gonna say High King. So Not only are we Black Panther fans, but we're comic book fans. And being comic book fans, we've seen a lot of stuff. We've read a lot of stuff, different heroes, makes, models, whatever, different comic book companies and everything like that. So what I was thinking is 60 years later, right? 60 years later, I don't want to say forget what we didn't got, because some of the stuff that we didn't got has been absolutely great. But take it into consideration the great stuff. Let's throw that bad stuff out the window. Where should Wakanda be right now as a nation? 60 years, taking into consideration what we read, where should T'Challa be as a character? Where should the surrounding characters be? Now, first and foremost, we're going to give it up. We got to give it up to Ta-Nehisi Coates. He did that. The Intergalactic Empire, I think, speaks for itself. Mr. Coates, you did that. You got our boy in space. Thank you. Can we just sit back and think for a second? Can we just sit back and appreciate the fact that Ta-Nehisi Coates got a whole bunch of us in space? No. If for no other reason why a Black director or writer should give us a movie with us in space, if they can't take inspiration from Ta-Nehisi Coates, I don't know what to tell them. Because Ta-Nehisi Coates, the Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda, written. The book, that's the only space story we got. And unless y'all finna tell me something in the chat, that's the only space story. That's the only story we got with us in space in mass. Like, we don't have it. Like, I ain't, that's why I be like, we can't get nothing else. Like, I'm tired of somebody telling me, they say, this is a big rich town. I'm tired of that. Can I have somebody say space? The final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Tyrone. You know the starship gonna be called Tyrone. Don't even act like that. Don't even act like that. But anyway, Grand Madam Tarot's in the building. See, I need this Grand Madam Tarot love too for today's show. I need that High King love for today's show too. So, Black Panther 2026. What should it actually look like? What should it actually look like? I'm gonna tell you where I'm going. We know the cure for cancer is in Wakanda. Shout out to Reginald Hunt, right? And we've seen Vibranium do some amazing things. Everett Ross, come on back. come on back and everything like that. We got a resurrection altar in Wakanda. Yeah, we got Zarbari, and he is literally old as dirt. Like, I don't want to say that. We got Zarbari, he old as dirt. We got the goddess Bast. We got the Orisha. Shout out to, I keep saying it. I'm gonna speak this into existence. One day we're gonna have Cheryl Lynn Eaton on the show. Yeah. That's what that is. We're gonna have Cheryl Lynn Eaton on the show, and I'm gonna be able to ask her some questions like, what made you want to do it, the Orisha like this and everything? But we got the Orisha and we got the Enid. You like to think that with Khonshu popping up like he did, we get us some more Black Panther Moon Knight crossovers in 2026. That's a real thing. That should actually be a real thing. You know what else is actually a real thing? I was out. Why would Horatio Walters, Venom, were we to see him today, we did, our voices, why is his face still scarred? I know what transpired. I do. But if we see Horatio again, we should. Should his face be scarred though? if we see Horatio and Taku again, why Taku not part of the Wakandan army, the Wakandan council? Because that's where we last left him off at. I don't know why. I mean, I know I get it. Him and Venom him and Horatio going for a walk. That's cute. I get that. But where has Taku been? And if Cantu is who he is and he's him, and he hanging out in the mute zone, why isn't Cantu one of Wakanda's leading scientists? Like, why him and T'Challa, they childhood friends? Why they not like that? We're gonna introduce this character. Where is Malice? I'm not talking about Nakia. Like, if we got a story today, Malice could still be rocking her afro, because Sister still rock afros today. But what would she look like? She still walk around in that Pam Grier onesie, you know, the one shirt, look like what Jennifer Walters. Actually, that's crazy because Malice wore it before Jennifer Walters wore the little one shirt, tattered one shirt. Yeah, what she look like now? What she look like now? And mind you, is she Malice by herself, or is there an order of Malice? Because there's a lot of women, a lot of female entities walking around with that code name in Marvel Comics. Is that a one-off, they random with it, or is it an order of Malices like the Order of the Owls? The Resurrection Altar is there, no differently than the Purple Ray is on Themyscira. I ain't forgot. ain't nobody tore it down. I don't know why we had like that Purple Ray don't sit over there. In essence, they got the cure for everything over there at Themyscira. I don't even know why we acting like that. You say Alfred going through something, let him get hit with that Purple Ray. You say Jason going through something, let him get hit with that Purple Ray. Keep up with these notes. Come on back to it. A lot of meat on the bone with Wakanda. Yeah, big bro. Yeah, that's why I want to. And I don't want this to just be me. My guy Flea, where he at? Yeah, I don't want this to just be me. We Black Panther fans, so I want this to be some back and forth. We got Flea. We got Flea. We got him. Shout out to Jonathan Mayberry. Representation. What you got here? Yeah, where's Flea? We got it. Malice leading a group of rejected doors would be a dope storyline for own Black Widows. I'm just saying, if we 60 years later, and I love this. Like I said, this is full participation. This ain't just me, because I don't like I said, I'm amongst many. I don't. So when we look at it, I'm like, okay, where's the car at? Like, if we get a modern day story, we got I don't want to say the first family per se, but Jakara is still alive and well. While Wakanda is a nation, it ain't that big. It ain't that big. Naganda is right next door. So is Mwanda. So I'm sitting up here, I'm like, I get it. Africa big. Africa big. And I know the maps that we be looking at and everything, they don't do Africa justice in regards to the land mass and everything like that. So we know Africa big. But where they at? Because it's 2026. You know how we got the Masters of Evil? T'Challa got him a nice little rose gallery over there that should be looking to want the smoke. Here we go. I said the Masters of Evil. That's not fair. The Sinister Six. That's what I should have said. You know how Peter got the Sinister Six, and they all wanted to smoke. Such a chocolate. he got some folks over there that want to smoke. Still ain't heard back from Malika, Jakar, Queen Zonda, Madam Slay, Akiba. Lord have mercy, you going down the list, ain't you? Yeah. Speaking of Madam Slay, not Madam Slay, Princess Xander. Because I know folks like to get to talking. And, you know, talk about my dog and our dog. It ain't just my dog. Folks get to talking about our dog and everything like that. Be slipping on this pimping. Be disrespecting this gangster. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about when I say that. So y'all know right now I'm covering Jack Kirby's 1977 Black Panther run. Can I say it one more time? If you don't want him with Aurora, he got options on the table. Black Panther issue 5. Princess Xander been hinting at it the whole series. Issue 5. Oh no, she shoot her shot. Issue 5, 1977. This woman shot her shot back in 1977. Now I get it. She had a nuke aimed at Wakanda. But this woman shot her shot back in 1977. If Bruce can smash Selena, Peter can smash the Black Cat, why can't T'Challa? It's 60 years later. Lady Nightshade, Nakia, Princess Xander, Queen, Lord Jesus have mercy, what's her name? All I'm saying is he ain't got to leave Africa, is what I'm saying. Like, he ain't. My dog got options right there. Right there. Let me keep up with these notes. Let me keep up with these notes. What you saying? I tell them, where are any of the students from the Wakanda school? Oh, we coming. I like that. We coming. Monica Rambeau want him too. Yes, you do. Yeah. Princess Xander. What's the Queen? Y'all gonna make me. Y'all. I'm Queen. Lord have mercy. What the woman name? Madam Slay. Yeah, Madam Slay. Why he can't get with Madam Slay? That's what I meant to say. Why he can't get with Madam Slay? If you don't want him with Aurora, look at him. Look at him. Look at him. See, this is one of the things about being a comic book fan and being well versed in your lane. He ain't got to get with Aurora. Like the High King said, Monica want him too. But hey, look here. See, this me. I understand if you don't want Monica to be with him, because he in Africa. You might want Monica to be with one of them other peoples and everything like that. Okay, well, what's the problem with the women in Africa? That's all I'm asking. What's wrong? What's wrong with the women in Africa? I got a lot to choose from. I got a healthy selection on over there, and they ain't promised to nobody. they ain't promised to nobody. You ain't hooked them up with nobody, so it shouldn't be no problem. Like I should be able to get what I want right there in Africa. Let me come on back on the way to these notes. Divine Justice would be. You know what? You know why I ain't never mentioned her? Because I low key be wanting her to be with Bob Braxis. I done shipped them off already. But I'm definitely feeling Wakanda got a whole. Yeah, speaking of the whole school. Speaking of the whole school. Yeah. Speaking of the whole school. So I do have this school over here. I do. It's in this book right here yonder. I work at the House of Ideas. I don't, but I'm just saying. He don't keep the bobo. He don't, because it's in Wakanda. I know Shorty got to be over it at the very least, something like that. You know, folks ain't recruiting. This I go back to Wakanda need to have their own superhero team. Ain't nothing going on over here. Because I mean, like, I got the Strange Academy. I don't know who asked for that. I didn't. I never asked for the Strange Academy. I did. And I know Tom Brevoort is for the umpteenth time. If you got to keep doing it, dog, it's safe to say you don't know what you're doing. Anyway, he finna do this whole Emma Frost school of the gifted youngsters and all this other good stuff and everything like that right there, Yana. I'm sorry. We can't get it. Ain't no development over here in Africa. I like that question. Gentle. We don't even say Gentle like that. Tom, you don't even care about Gentle like that. Darwin could be over there. Prodigy could be over there. Saint could be over there. And yeah, you go ahead and get Gentle on them. Why not? Why not? Why not? And let me ask this question. This a petty question. But if Marvel superheroes are self-aware, when I mean self-aware is, I mean like the heroes know where they fit. The black heroes got to know they're not being used. Well, okay, if they're not being used, but they want to be superheroes, are we to believe they wouldn't go off and form their own team? I'm asking that question because who would wind up sponsoring that team? Now, if we ask Mr. Ray Smith, he would tell you T'Challa. Mr. Ray Smith would tell you that the New Warriors should have never had to do a reality show because Dwayne Taylor is cool with T'Challa, and it would have been a simple phone call. They wouldn't have had to do that. But where would the New Warriors be at? Because they ain't got nothing going on. They don't. We wouldn't have a team in Africa. Does that make sense that the king of Wakanda, knowing he's the king of a nation and low-key dolo solo, he wouldn't understand it going all the way back to Peter B. Gillis's run that Bast holds him accountable for all of Africa. He ain't got a superhero team in Africa. Not just Wakanda, Africa. 2026. Let me keep this. Abina out of Bayou, Gold Tiger, hasn't even been tied to Wakanda other than by mention. Need to fix that. He also has a whole intergalactic empire. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And we're going to spin the block on that, Kimoyo. We're going to spin the block on that. What's going on, Afro? What's going on? What's going on? And mind you, I like what you said because if we got the intergalactic empire of Wakanda, that's a title. The intergalactic empire of Wakanda. You ain't got to put Black Panther by that or nothing. That's a title. Stand alone. You got Black Panther. That's 2 titles. That's 2. The world of Wakanda. That's 3. That would be 3. Your intergalactic, you get all that right there. Your world of Wakanda, you get your anthology series. God knows you got enough characters there. The Warriors of Wakanda. You need that superhero team. You need that super. Now, let me touch on this because I've heard different content creators say different things in regards to Black comics. Let's address the elephant in the room first. With it being 2026, racists are perfectly fine doing everything a racist does. They just don't want to be called racist. That's what that is. We're not going to act like that. That is what that is. And for folks who are going to come on this channel, and this might be your first time rocking with me, and you don't want me talking about race, I don't want to talk about it either. But when I do talk about comics, you have some folks that cannot wait to let it be known just how bigoted, just how prejudiced they are. And so, unfortunately, this happens to be a fact. There are some people not going to buy a comic book unless it centers around a European male. I'm not wired to think that way. It ain't got to be that way. I like a good story, but it's 2026. We're not going to be pretentious. We're not going to act like that. There are some people perfectly fine, and they like doing it. It puts a smile on their face. They like being bigoted and prejudiced. They don't want anything that's going to threaten their role, their role in the world and everything. So they're not going to do that. That shouldn't have anything to do with determining that the comic's not selling. We shouldn't place any unfair demands on characters, comics that we're not placing on everybody else. It's like I said, I don't think anybody asked for a Barry Allen Flash TV show. I know damn good and well comic book fans weren't chirping for a Oliver Queen Arrow show. You gave it to us. You gave it to us. It was most of it was good, but nobody was begging for it. Nobody was begging for it. So I don't even appreciate the pressure being placed on us as in, oh, we got to go above. No, we're going to do what everybody else does. Other than we're not going to turn a blind eye to comics featuring characters that don't resemble us because we're not bigoted and prejudiced like that. Characters that don't look like us being the main character doesn't threaten us as a people. It doesn't threaten us as a people. It doesn't threaten us as individuals. We know who we are. Everybody can't say that. The comic book companies have got to acknowledge that. The comic book companies have got to acknowledge that. Like Brandy Rose told Dustin, if you telling me you don't see color, then we can't be together. Because while you don't see color, you need to know the world does. What is going on, Ronnie? What's going on? Rama fall in the building. Remember when I mentioned that multiracial team led by Sam Wilson? You did, man. You killed that one. You did. House of Ideas. Like I said, House of Ideas. You had a great idea. And I want us to think about that for a second. You, for no reason, and I'm comparing you to the evil that exists over here. You thought about a whole damn team and you put thought into it when they can't even be damn bothered. As a proud Black man, you were able to sit there and think of a story that encompasses everybody and it be organic, no pandering at all. That makes you the superior being. It's you being able to do it. They either A, can't, or B, won't. It says way more about you that you're able to sit there, really just, I don't want to say put it out your ass, but while they sit over there and struggle, coming up with excuses for why it cannot be done, you have people that literally at home come up with ways to get it done. That says a lot. That says a lot. That says a lot. So yeah, if you want to do it, you'll find a way to get it done. Folks that don't want to do it, they'll come up with 1,000 excuses for why it can't get done. So when I look at Black Panther as a whole, Wakanda, where should Wakanda be? Because we can talk about the characters and get lost in that, but where should the nation be? It should be the most technologically advanced nation on Earth in the 616. What does that look like? Storytelling wise, not just the stories about Wakanda, but the stories around Wakanda. Like, what would an X-Men title look like? What would an Avengers title look like if Wakanda is being written like it's supposed to? Would the United States now, would the world now look at Wakanda the same way they looked at the island of Krakoa? What does that look like? Does the world as it stands right now in 2026 know that not only does Wakanda have a nation, but that they also have an intergalactic empire? As in, unlike any other nation on Earth, Wakanda can rain down interstellar hell on Earth. Do any of the dignitaries from other nations know that? And if they do, how do they feel about that? I think that's a great question, because we saw how they felt about the mutants getting the island. We saw how they felt about the mutants having Mars. Well, Wakanda got a whole galaxy. I would love to see that ain't gonna be, that's not gonna be accepted well. That's not gonna be accepted well. We talked about the other heroes and everything like that. In 2026, remember I mentioned being self-aware. You not being invited to join a roster. You're muted. You're not being invited to be on any of the X-Men teams. Would you not hit up T'Challa? If you wanted to fight crime, that's your calling, that's your passion. For whatever reason, you're not being invited on the Avengers. You're not being invited on none of the X-Men teams. You're not being invited on the Defenders. You ain't getting no call from the Midnight Suns or anything like that. But you want to fight crime. The New Warriors are not a thing. You want to fight crime. You and T'Challa close. What's your move? Do you stay in New York? It's a lot of heroes in New York. Or do you go out and get your own city? We saw Jace Fox leave Gotham. He went to Manhattan. Or would you say, you know what? I'm going to Africa. It's a lot of opportunities in Africa. Let me ask it this way. I'm going to read this note real quick. This coming from Grand Madam. Explain to me why Wakanda has an intergalactic empire way across the universe, but still sits on a mountain in Africa. I can't. I can't. I can't. You asking me, you want me, oh, House of Ideas. Okay, let me see here. So I'm just telling the story. I'm not making no excuse. I'm just telling the story. So where we sit right now, it's actually going back to Jonathan Hickman's New Avengers, where we at right now. The very first incursion popped up over Wakanda. Well, at the end of Time Runs Out event, T'Challa, Reed, Infinity Stones, they go back to where the incursion first started, except there's no incursion. So the spaceship that T'Challa launches is called the Alpha Flight. Okay. They launch it into space to find out where the chunk of vibranium came from that comprises the vibranium mound. That's what they did. Well, that ship that they launched at the end of the Time Runs Out event got sucked into a wormhole. And so it went to the past. And so they're in the past with all this advanced weaponry. So they make it do what it's going to do. That's how we get the intergalactic empire. So it's one of those things where the people who went back in the past, they lost contact with the people on the mound. It wasn't until we got to Ta-Nehisi Coates' run that they were able to reestablish contact with Wakanda Prime. So I'm just telling the story. So they were able to come back through said wormhole with Manifold, current day, current time, and that's how we got Wakanda Prime and the Intergalactic Empire. Because the Intergalactic Empire been there for a minute. It ain't brand new. It's been there for a minute. So that's how we got that. Your question makes sense though, because normally you would like to think that for you to have you got a whole intergalactic empire. We should see you more than just on the mound. You should be all over the place. But that's how that happened. Hope I answered your question. Let's see here. Good point, Grand Madam. During the House of M crossover, Reginald Hutlam had Wakanda directly influenced much of West Africa. Yeah. Let me see here. Kimoyo said, honestly, I would have taken all of our brain and moved all my people to another planet in a Goldilocks zone. I would send ships back to Earth for those that want to come and live on planet Wakanda. Makes sense. A planet of people with African ancestry would be fire. Which we got this intergalactic story right now. You would have liked to have seen more than what we're getting. The whole thing about us being in space is still relatively new, a new concept. So I definitely would have liked to have, I don't know, I guess if I'm looking at it, I would have liked to have gotten more of a Star Trek type of feel vibe with us being in space and everything like that. And Baku could have been the captain of a starship, a Wakandan starship and everything like that. We get to see him go off on some journeys. We get to see what he called the Ebony Guard. I'm loving that name. The Ebony Guard go down and everything like that. Just would have loved it. So it's one of those things, like I said, having this conversation back and forth ain't just me talking, just some stuff that what would make sense in Black Panther 2026. Like, we see stuff, but we know some stuff. We know some stuff and we see some stuff. And I just wanted to ask the Rock With Me Nation. I wanted to ask those who care about this character and the surrounding characters as much as I do, what should it look like? For instance, I know my brother and I, we were talking about Salamander Crew. His look needs to be updated. His look needs to be updated. Now, this is what I have for mine, Shadow Stalker, whatever, Shadow Creeper, whatever. But that's mine because I like the character. I wanted to have me some my very own, I say Sinister Six, my very own Sinister Six or whatever. This other guy is a Spider-Man villain, but hell, two of the action figures that I'm gonna make part of T'Challa's Rose Gallery, Sinister Six or Spider-Man villain. I think Puma makes sense. I think Puma makes some sense. Who else we got here? Kraven the Hunter makes sense. I like that. Kraven the Hunter. He makes sense. They all got a similar color motif to them. Yeah. I like that. Who else we got here? Oh, yeah. I like this. We're Black Panther fans going all the way back to the going all the way back. My brother Daryl, he calls him something else, but I needed to get me a wind eagle, and I don't believe in overcooking the grits. So I got me a wind eagle. Now y'all like that. Theo, that's not wind eagle. You right. It's not. It's Raptor from G.I. Joe. But when you talking representation, I don't believe in doing too much, but it come with a nice set of wings, is what I'm saying. He come with a nice set of wings, is what I'm saying. So You got that right there. You know, Daryl is all about the wings. My dog come with a nice set of wings. Rose Gallery, though. We gonna add him. We gonna add him to T'Challa's Rose Gallery. Yeah. So we can do some picture taking. Say you have to update his Rose Gallery. We're gonna be able to do some picture taking with some villains, and T'Challa have his own little Rose Gallery. That's what that is. That's what that is. That's what that is. Let me keep up with these notes. When I saw the movie Black Panther and seeing the invisible shield, I thought, what if Wakanda was situated in a separate dimension? You know what? Oh, you can still explore the universe, just the home world would be ours. Yeah, absolutely. Tell me you wouldn't be cheesed about burning Chadwick. You know I would. I'm still trying to figure out what's going on with the Bozeman helicarrier. Think about that for a second. The Bozeman helicarrier, what would that look like if you saw the Bozeman helicarrier more frequently, knowing that Wakanda has a helicarrier, but you don't get to see it? It's kind of like knowing that Bass is in the MCU and you don't get to see her. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. Give me a second here, trying to put this stuff back up. You got to have Ziploc bags. So you got, speaking of bags though, and this is why I mentioned Cheryl Lynn Eden earlier. How much we know about the Norse gods? Why we don't want to talk about the Enid? Why we don't want to talk about the Orisha? Like, if that's who T'Challa worships, we get to see Mark Spector interact with Khonshu quite a bit. And I ain't trying to be funny, but I remember that JLL run, Justice League JLA run, and not for nothing, but Ariel, the dude who replaced Hawkman, he was in constant conversation with the host. Like, I don't want to act like that, and he wasn't even around that long, but we knew what was going on. So I'm like, in a modern day story, what's good? Like, Bass should be there. Not only should Bass be there, but remember when I asked earlier, should Horatio still be scarred in the face? Mind you, that was a pretty selfish reason, because I want to get me a Horatio action figure. I want to have me a Venom action figure. I got my Taku, but then I asked myself, whoa, wait. With all that technology in Wakanda, would Horatio's face still be scarred? No, it wouldn't. This would be the barrier to Horatio which is a story in and of itself. Taku letting Horatio know he ain't got to look like that. Horatio starting to second guess himself, saying, is it that you're doing this to help me, or you don't want me because I look like this? That's a story. That's a story in and of itself. That dude sitting up there saying, you know what, I can get this plastic surgery and look completely human, but is that what he want for me? Am I doing it for him, or am I doing it for myself? Because that option is on the table. That option is very much on the table. No differently than the Hunter issue. Like I said, what do these stories look like in 2026? We got the Queen Mother Ramunda, we got the Princess Shuri, and we got King Emperor T'Challa. And ain't nobody going to go see about their older brother? You mean to tell me Queen Mother Ramunda ain't looked at T'Challa and told her son, you need to go make it right with your older brother? Shooty ain't said nothing about that. There's a story there that ain't being told. Where's Jakara at? Because that's 3 siblings when it's 4. Imagine what that royal family looked like. Then there's Eric. Eric suffers from post-traumatic syndrome, from PTSD. Him and Hunter both. T'Challa ain't went and saw about Eric. He ain't went and brought Eric back home to Wakanda. All I know is I done seen Cap do some amazing stuff with Bucky. I done seen Peter do some amazing stuff with Ben and Kane. I done seen Logan do some amazing stuff with Laura. I done seen the X-Men do some amazing stuff with Mystique. Yeah, because these characters got redemption arcs. That's what I'm saying. These characters got redemption. They didn't play the role of hero, anti-hero, hero, anti-hero. They ain't just been villain. Okay, what's going on with Eric? Because his story don't make no damn sense. I get tired of folks trying to rewrite it. It ain't gonna ever make no sense for him to be the enemy of T'Challa. He should be the enemy of Claw and Kingpin. He should be their mortal enemy. As a matter of fact, that's a separate story. Oh, where's Hunter? Yeah, we don't know. What's going on, Big Andre? What's going on? T'Challa should be interacting with not just Bass, but Segment also. Segment is the warrior. Yeah, you right. Grand Madam, watch this. I'm going to throw a Nuke in there too. You right. Bass, Segment, and a Nuke. And I'm going to double down on Segment because I'm going to be like, that's actually who he went and got his abilities from when Bass gave her abilities to Shorty. Just ain't nobody said it yet. But we keep saying an unknown Panther. What you mean an unknown Panther? We don't know who her sister is. We don't know how to relegate this to Black Panther comic book mythology. Bass is not a Panther goddess. She's a cat goddess. Her sister is Segment. If Bass can be a Panther goddess, so can her sister Segment. It ain't hard. And I feel like I know I'm preaching to the choir. That ain't what I want to come across. But I'm looking at the writers, the editor. Bass ain't no Panther goddess. She's a cat goddess. So is her sister. Well, if you can make her a Panther goddess, you can make her sister a Panther goddess. Thus, what we got in David Liss's run, or the second goddess that he prayed, the second cat god that he prayed to, that would be Jonathan Mayberry. That should be Segment. Which, if I'm not mistaken, that means T'Challa is, you want to talk about thrice blessed armor? Theodore, he been thrice blessed. He been blessed by 3 goddesses. You want to talk about OP? Oh, Lord have mercy. If you can't do nothing with Sync, because you say Sync is too OP, I know why you can't write no stories with T'Challa. He fading everybody he run up on. that T'Challa, based on his current power set, if and when he does pass away, I would love for Reginald Hudlin to write a future story, Black to the Future, Part 3, where T'Challa has ascended to the Orisha. Why not? Why not? We ain't got no stories of other Black Panthers like that, which is an anthology series unto itself. But T'Challa has been written as the greatest Black Panther ever to hold the mantle. He's the only one that we know of that's been blessed by 3 different deities. Why wouldn't he ascend? Why wouldn't he ascend? I get it. We got the T'Challa right there. But if Aurora can ascend to the Orisha, why wouldn't he ascend to the original? I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking questions. Let me keep up here. Harama Fall, Taz, also known as Ogun. Should there not be a story involving T'Challa and Ty regarding the vibranium aura? Yes, it should be. Yes, it should be. Right there in a nice anthology series. Big Ruben, what's going on? A Wakanda location called Brandon Chadwick would have been so far. Still can be. Still can be. Now, why am I asking the questions in regards to this live today? Well, as I've been saying with the Rock With Me Nation, and I said this on the live last night, I absolutely love my family. If somebody got some drama going on and everything like that, it's outside. I don't know nothing about it unless somebody come back and tell me. Well, keeping the legacy of T'Challa alive, Black Panther alive, Wakanda alive, keeping it front and center, keeping it relevant, that's not a one-person job. Anybody trying to make that a one-person job is being absolutely selfish. Being absolutely selfish. So, what am I saying? I love the character. I love what the character represents. That's just it, what that is. In a lot of ways, I could look at Wakanda and say that's the fictional Black Wall Street. Absolutely could. Well, if that's the fictional Black Wall Street, I know the story. I know how the story plays out. And I can draw comparisons between how that story played out real life and what's going on right now. Imagery is a lot. We talk about it a lot on this channel. We talk about imagery and representation. You play high school sports. You got behind that mascot. You believed in that mascot and bet not, you heard what I said, bet not nobody have disrespected that mascot. That's what that was. That's what that is. Some of us still feel the same way about our favorite sports team. Oh, you better not? We wish you would. Grand Madam Taro is a Baltimore Raven fan. My brother Daryl is a Kansas City Chief fan. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Mr. Ray Smith is a Cleveland Brown fan. We love our team. You better watch what you say. Well, people take a lot of pride in stuff like that. Well, there's a lot to be said about the pride that can be embraced from a fictional character. It absolutely is. Folks like the me, I know it ain't Busta Rhymes right now wanting to go off on T.I. about 50. 50 ain't been to New York. I don't know 50 then the last time 50 Cent didn't mention Busta Rhymes' name. But Busta, because 50 is New York, Busta wants to rep the North. That means something to him. Okay. No difference over here. Black Panther means something. You able to, when we say 1.3 billion, you stick your chest out a little bit. I did that. Y'all ain't got no 1.3 billion with just one superhero in the movie. To get 1.3 billion, y'all gotta overload your movie. You stick your chest out a little bit as a Black Panther fan. I got that 1.3 billion. That's how you feel. Well, I kind of want to feel like that a lot. And I know it's a fictional character. I can walk around and feel good on my own and everything like that. But that fictional character, that's a little bit extra to it, you know. One person can't do it. One person would be selfish if they acted like they wanted to do it. No. It's going to take all of those who care to keep the character alive, the characters alive, the nation alive. It's going to take moments like this where we come in and we kick the bobo and we interact with one another, talking about Black Panther, talking about T'Challa, because if we don't, who will? You see it out there. Folks will talk about Black Panther 3, but in the future, 2028, but they won't stay pressed on, we gonna keep T'Challa front and center every week. We're going to talk about T'Challa, Black Panther, Wakanda every month because we care about that character. We're the fan group. Kimoyo is the High King of the Black Panther fan group. That's a fan group. And what do fan groups do? You just ain't the first. If this the first fan group you in, it's the first one. But if not, you know how fan groups get down. What do? They share images. They tell stories. They share them. They do. And in this day and age, they use AI. Shout out to Kimoyo. Shout out to Gray. Shout out to Steezle. They use AI to make, they start right now. I'm watching on YouTube Batman versus Jeepers Creepers. Batman versus Jason. Batman versus Freddy. You know, all that do is keep Bruce front and center. That's all that does is keep Bruce front and center. Okay, well, it's the Rock With Me Nation. You take ownership of the character. Okay, well, that's our character. Ain't nobody else's. Okay, I just named some cats that I know nice in the animation and everything like that. I'm pretty sure they're not the only ones in the Rock With Me Nation. I know we got quite a few nice writers in the Rock With Me Nation. Okay, so let's get this stuff uploaded with T'Challa in it. We know our character. We love our character. We know our characters. We love our characters. And what we're going to take into consideration, unlike quite a few that have written T'Challa, Black Panther, Wakanda, we're thinking about current day time. What does this look like in 2026? Not injecting ourselves into the story, but inject, you know how we talk about that Afrofuturism? What does Afrofuturism really look like in 2026? What that look like? We got a nation over there. We got a nation on Earth, 2026. They got the cure to everything over there. And you don't need nothing. Ain't nobody starving. Ain't nobody broke. Ain't nobody starving. Ain't nobody broke. Ain't nobody sick. Free healthcare. Free health. Not just free, but the best healthcare. Like, damn. Not just free, but the best. Let me see. Honestly, the BP franchise has been kind of stagnant since Coach left and the MCU did what it did. We just now got back to the starting line with T'Challa. You right, but you know what we ain't doing? We putting the emphasis on us. That's what this live is about. Putting the emphasis on us. How do we move the needle forward? Not how they move the needle forward. Clearly, they don't care. They don't care how they move the needle forward over here, and they don't know how to. So no, I'm talking about us, because we congregate, we interact with one another. We come over here on lives and everything like that. Y'all be supporting the comic book content. So I'm talking about us. Like, if we upload the content, we upload the fiction, we tell the stories. Because you can tell a story and all you gotta do is just upload like 2-3 pictures with it. You got your story. But what does it look like with us knowing what we know, loving what we love, not them? What does and what should all things Wakandan look like in 2026? Do we have rail cars? Do we have floating cars, hover cars, if you will? Do we have public transportation, or does everybody have their own form of transportation, or do we have it all? What does the system look like? The utility system look like in Wakanda? What does this? And I like the artwork that we had during Dr. Eve Ewing's run and everything like that. What's the style look like in Wakanda? Let's take it a step further. What's a menu in Wakanda? What's a meal in Wakanda? See, these are all the things that bring the stories, the characters into focus that nobody else is subject to care about other than us. What's the standard wear of the Hatu? Even though they gave us Casper Cole in the 60th anniversary annual, did they say what his name was? Or he just still walk around here in his own distinct looking costume going by Casper Cole? Let me keep up with these notes real quick here. Let me see here. I got Harama Fall. While I get Wakanda was made by two white guys, Americanizing has damaged what it was meant to be, and that was done by black writers. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. What's going on, Anansi? What's going on? What's going on? Afrofuturist post-scarcity Wakanda. Hey, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, and I don't even know why it was done like that. That's the damnedest thing. Two Jewish dudes said, no, we're going to do this. If I didn't see it, if I didn't experience it, you couldn't have told me that's what went down. But the fact that I've been living long enough to, and that's what I love, the beauty that I love about being able to review Jack Kirby's run on Black Panther. It's like, okay, I'm able to go back and see what you did in the Avengers. And like you said, it's white writers. And I don't know whether the white writers had that much reverence for the character, that much respect for the character, or they was like, well, there's no way I'm gonna F this character up for them to be mad at me. But you're right. The only dude that I'm looking at sideways is Jason Aaron. That's the only, because I'm going back to Avengers versus X-Men, and in my heart of hearts, that to a degree that story don't make no sense other than the fact we want to delete Charles Xavier and we want to break up T'Challa and Aurora. And when you look at what the editorial department was talking about, oh, they didn't fit together. It was forced. So you low-key did write that damn story to break them up, especially when you think about it. If you don't read the auxiliary title that came along with Avengers versus X-Men, you never saw T'Challa and Aurora put two hands on each other. You never saw them put hands on each other. You just know they mad. But even with that, those of us that have been married, those of us that have been in a serious relationship, you know that ain't how that play out. T'Challa and Aurora had just come back from T'Challa going to talk to Baz about being the king of the dead. It just come from that. Where Aurora was fighting alongside Sue and Shuri to take down Anubis. So she's right there walking lockstep with her husband. There's no way they'd have chose their side. Talk about choosing Wakanda side, choosing the mutant side, choosing the Avengers side, choosing the X-Men side. Aurora would have chose her and her husband's side. T'Challa would have chose him and his wife's side. And let's be clear, T'Challa's first loyalty is to Wakanda. It ain't to the Avengers. It ain't to the Avengers. And what folks did not like about how Aurora was being written, Aurora's first loyalty was to Wakanda, not the X-Men. But I spin it forward. Aurora's first loyalty, it ain't to the X-Men. It ain't to the world. It's Africa. While folks want to, because we're not going to sit up here and act like we didn't read Aurora. No, her loyalties are to her people in Africa. It ain't to the X-Men. She didn't question that decision just as recently as the running Krakoa. Professor, oh, no, the world. Aurora like, no, I'm here for my people. You don't get to tell me what I'm doing, Charles. You don't get to tell me what I'm doing now. You don't get to tell me what I'm doing later. I'm a grown-ass woman. Aurora knows she's responsible for all of Africa. So, like I said, but if you didn't read it, you just going off of what slick talking editors want to tell you, and folks that like feeling like they read more than you do and know more than you do, like telling you, no, when you read them stories, you send it like this, Cap. Let me see here. Anansi, not only and we write our own Black Panther stories and upload them for the Rock Women Nation, but Chat GPT and Claude AI can also tell some interest much better than I can write. If you want to keep his legacy alive, and this is for all of us, we'll do it. We won't be dependent on Marvel. We'll do it. We use our resources to do a lot of stuff that ain't got nothing to do with our favorite character. But if nobody's going to tell the stories about your favorite character, why won't you if it's about keeping the legacy alive? Who's better to do it than you who actually cares about the character? Here's what that looks like. You want to write a story. You love the character. You know what you're going to do that they're not going to do. You're going to make sure you get it right. Before it even see the light of day, you're going to make sure you get it right. You're going to reach out to some of your peoples that's also Black Panther fans, because you're going to want this story to stick. You might, hey, can I ask a question? Yeah. Remember about, yeah. Explain that to me again. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bop. You upload it. Now those that are Black Panther fans, hey, they don't like going to they don't like reading comic books or whatever, or they ain't got time, but they Black Panther fans. Cool. They got access to the character that we love, and we as a fan group are the ones pushing it. He ain't got to be left. He ain't got to be forgotten. I don't give a damn what they got going on in Marvel Comics. I don't. We care too much, and we got too much to be so reliant, so dependent on them. No, we can do what we want to do. And we've been doing it to a degree, and we're not even organized. Imagine if we were organized. Let me come back to these notes. Create them, no more waiting. Absolutely. The X-Men editor Sabowski chose to gatekeep a role for X-writers because they can't tell better stories without her. It's corny and cringe, Afro fetishism. Yeah. What you are suggesting for T'Challa is what John Byrne did with X-Men. Yes. Yes. Absolutely, I am. And this is for those that like to say, well, if you want it done so bad, do it yourself. Say less. Say less. And who better to tell the stories than you? You know you care. You know you're going to reach out. You know you want it to hit. You know you want it to land. Well, that's how you keep the character's legacy alive. That's how you keep all of Wakanda alive. And believe it or not, that's how we educate future writers of Black Panther on what we want. Because you can't tell no worse story than what we giving folks online. And you can't write Black Panther where it's easily seen where the fan group knows more than you do. You can't. You can't. And you can't let it be where the fan group has the character in demand and you as a comic book company ain't doing a damn thing with the character. Pressure bust pipes. Pressure bust pipes. We're not our ancestors. We don't have to be. There are too many people on this live. I see 12. If you haven't hit the like button already, please do so. There are too many people on this live that are talented. What that is. There are too many people on this live that have done some amazing things in their life that had nothing to do with Black Panther since they've been living. That's what that is. There are too many people on this live that know what it's like to be dedicated to doing something, and they've done it successfully and would do it again with no problem whatsoever. Well, it's the same thing here. It's the same thing here. What we have to do is organize. I don't know what time is available. I don't know what time is good for people and everything like that. But I'm thinking we need to have weekly lives where we speak to one another, encourage one another, and share stories. I know Grand Madam Tarot has her channel. I know my brother Kimoyo and Gray and Steezle have their TikTok channels. I know me and Dora do lives, but it needs to be something where Black Panther fans come together, work on stories, content to grow the knowledge of their character, keep one another in the loop as far as the latest Black Panther news, if you will, and that is in regards to merch and media that might be coming out, so we know what's going on. Prime example, we should have already got a World of Warcraft Black Panther, but I'm of the mindset between what I did, Steezle did, Gray did, Kimoyo did, Dora did. We might have slowed down that process. we might have do, especially the one that Kimoyo did, because Kimoyo actually did the Black Panther action figure from the 60th anniversary issue. So, no, Dr. Eve Yoder. So we might be messing that up because it's like, okay, which Black Panther figure you finna give us? No, nuh-uh. Because you're not going to just give us any old one. We've been keeping track of the ones you've been giving out. Dr. Eve Ewing got next. While she got next, we would prefer the intergalactic look, but she definitely got next. So don't just give us no BS thinking we're going to spend money. So that might have been us right now. You have a Discord, create a Discord chat, Magic Gather. Thank you. Yes. As a matter of fact, you can find me, Gray, Steezle, Kimoyo, I think Daryl over there on Discord and everything like that. We are over there. We are. I don't know if Kimoyo need to put the link in there and everything like that, but we over there. We over there, and there ain't a day go by. And let me just say this. Folks think when we talk about Black Panther Wakanda, we speaking specifically about them. No. It does start with him, because we realize that they'll take a dump on him, they'll take a dump on everybody else. But no, New Warriors, Milestone, Spawn. Yeah, we believe in keeping the main thing. So listen, I'm out. I didn't want to come over here and take up too much time today. What if we had to take away from this show? What does Black Panther Wakanda look like? Truly look like? Think about it. Sit down, chill out, or whatever, but think about it. What does that truly look like? The intergalactic empire, all of that. What does the most advanced nation on earth, what should it look like in 2026 and beyond? I'm of the mindset we ain't got it yet. For whatever reason, we ain't got it yet. That said, I'm out. Hit me up. Y'all know, DM me. That Falcon story was amazing. Now that's crazy. I got somebody putting more respect on Sam Wilson. Sam Wilson, Starling, the Vulture, and Sister Divine. No, Nightshade. I got somebody putting more respect on them 4 characters in less than an hour. Like, that's crazy. You know what? I'm gonna see if the person don't mind me actually talking about that story. If they don't mind, I will come back, if not today, tomorrow, and share with you how Sam Wilson can be big upped. That's UPPED. Yeah. I'm gonna talk to the person, see if they don't mind me sharing the story. The story that they got for Starling, the Vulture, that I'd read it. You don't mind? Harama Fall say he don't mind. So if we don't do it, because I ain't want to mention no name, Harama Fall say he don't mind. So if not today, tomorrow, because I want to make sure all hands are on deck. How many Sam Wilson solos we done got? We got a Sam Wilson solo with him and Hunter, right? And then we got the Sam Wilson with the Backyard Barbecue. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say the story that he came up with is better than both of them. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. Listen, I'm out. Hit that like button, hit the share button and everything like that. I will keep y'all abreast. I want to make it look pretty because he put his foot up in the story. Make sure you got your notifications on. In the meantime, in between time till next time, and remember the late great Don Cornelius and Chadwick Boseman. I wish each and every last one of you love, peace, and so we out.